Hello. I am like running way behind this morning, so I apologize. At first I said I was going to be doing this at 9:30, and then I forgot I had a dentist appointment, and then I said 10:30 or 11, and it's 11:15. And I'm not normally like that. But for whatever reason, there's all this stuff swirling around me today, and I really couldn't get it together for whatever reason until now. So I'm going to give everybody a moment to join because I did get a lot of feedback and messages of people who were kind of interested in this Facebook Live video. It's funny, I've been wanting to do a video for like 2 weeks, and I don't know what's been going on. I kept thinking like, well, that means if you do a Facebook Live video, you're gonna have to put some makeup on. You're gonna actually have to do your hair, and I'm not a makeup person or a hair person. And so I don't know if that's why I was avoiding this whole Facebook Live thing. I'm not sure, but I feel really inspired to do it today. So we're doing it today. And one of the people that I want to talk about today is actually a lady that, it's kind of funny, all these people who come into your sphere, you make these connections with people and you have no idea how they came about, but you know that it's meant to be. And so one of the people that I follow is Susan Hyatt, and she's a master certified life coach, but she actually creates these international retreats, both in the US, but around the world, where she kind of teaches women entrepreneurs, how to kind of go after their dreams and build their businesses. And from what I understand, she's masterful at it. And so I follow like her blog and a lot of what she puts out there on Facebook. And she has me thinking a lot about, and I know we've heard this going around in Facebook, but, like, what is your word for this year? You have to have a focus. You have to have, we can't all just sit back and go, well, we want our life to be better, or, we want things to change. I want to be happier. I want to make more money. I want to be more successful. But in all reality, you're the only one that's in charge of that. No one else can do it for you. And that means that you have to change something. It actually kind of makes me think of this story this morning as my husband was lying in bed and I was in the bathroom getting ready. And I walked into the bedroom and I'm like, hey, I want you to feel my abs. I want you to feel this stomach because it's going to change. By the time we go to Punta Cana in May, this is going to be ripped and it's going to have abs. And so I want you to feel it right now so you can feel all that softness, because I'm going to tell you this is going to change. And you know what Scott's response was? He's like, so what are you going to do different? And I was just kind of like, you know what? That is so true. I cannot expect to get these abs if I'm not going to do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so I think that for every one of us who wants to embrace life more fully, who wants to live more vibrantly, who wants to chase their dreams, who they have goals and aspirations of being more and really evolving into the best version of yourself that you can. You have to have more than just the aspiration to want to do those things. You have to actually take action and do them. And that's one of the things that Susan talks a lot about too. But it's Susan Hyatt, if any of you want to look her up on Facebook, she's really wonderful to watch. She's very bold. She really shoots it straight. But that's one of the things that she talks about is, you know what? These things don't just kind of come into your existence. You have to work at it. It's a daily practice. And so one of the things that she was talking about is what's your word of the year? And I'm looking up here on my vision board and I see that my word last year was influential. And I've been debating what is my word going to be this year? And I know Susan's is, I think her word is disrupt. So she wants to disrupt the diet industry. She wants to have a huge influence in the political arena, I believe. She wants to change and disrupt the way that women feel about themselves and their bodies. And I've been thinking a lot on my runs about what my word is this year. And I think my word, I had two words actually, but one of my words is impactful. I really want to impact people's lives. I really hope that I can impact teachers' lives when they come to training. that they really do walk away with the service that I've provided them, like that they have, they walk away with the gifts that I have given, that I've been of service to them. I think that I really want to impact well-being levels in our personal lives and in our professional lives. That I believe that the workplace is changing and that our well-being levels need to be at the top of our priority list. We need to have more well-being in our life. And so I feel like I want to kind of impact the well-being industry, the work industry, and figure out what are some ways that we can flourish in our personal lives, but also flourish in our work lives. I want to impact people that I come into everyday contact with, that, you know, when I leave them and I've listened to them or I've had a conversation with them, that what I've done for them, maybe something I've said or the smile that I've put on my face or just the fact that I gave them my attention and listening ear, that I somehow impacted them to leave my presence and have a really great day. And so I think impact is going to be one of my words. But the other word is play. I'm a big play person. I have to have opportunities in my life to play. I have a playful nature. I have a childlike nature at times. And so what really fuels me and fills my cup up is given time to play. And so when I look at my calendar for the next year, I have specifically blocked in time to play. I want to have weeks where I'm not in any schools, where I'm at home creating, or I'm taking hikes through the woods, or I'm reading a good book and I'm cuddled up by the fire, because play is really important to me. So I think that my 2 words this year are going to be being impactful and taking even more time to play. And so I want you to kind of think about, like, what is your word going to be this year? And then where can you put that word as a constant reminder? You can see up here on my vision board, up here at the top, I had the word influential last year. I wanted to be, which I think being impactful is similar to that. So I'm kind of on that theme. But the other thing that I want to talk to you about is that, you know, it's funny, I was at the dentist office this morning, my aunt's dentist office, and I was talking to somebody in there, and she's worked at this company for 23 years, and she was telling me, she's like, oh, I'm pouring my tea, by the way, but she's like, I just dread going to work every day, because I work with a bunch of women who are just like negative Nellies. Like, all they do is gripe and complain and woe is me. And she goes, it just really wears me down. She goes, I try to like block myself from it, but she goes, it ends up impacting me. And I thought, you know what? That's exactly right. Like, I have worked in toxic cultures. I have worked in toxic places where women especially are kind of out to get one another, or they don't want someone else's light to shine. They don't want someone out teaching them or outdoing them. And I'm just going to tell you, as women, we got to get over that, because we need to be rooting for the person right next door to us. You know, I always said, you know, I wanted to teach next to the person who was a rock star teacher. I want to be around people who are, this is why I love Susan Hyatt, because she's knocking it out of the ballpark every single time. And so when I watch something from her, I just think, okay, my inspiration is up. I'm ready to go. Let's do this next. And so I think that it's really important for us to think about what is the kind of energy that we're bringing every day, whether it be to our workplace or to our home or to the people that are in our lives. This is important because, you know, I study the law of attraction, and the law of attraction says this. You know, we have to be very aware of our thoughts, because our thoughts, what thoughts run through our head, that creates our beliefs. And our beliefs are what create our actions. And our actions create our reality. What this means is that every single one of us is 100% responsible for our life. I saw yesterday where Dana Hawhey had posted an article about like why your life sucks or something. I actually thought it was a very good read, because basically if your life sucks, it is up to you to do something about it. And everybody's life sucks at times. But if you're going to play victim, or if you're going to wait for someone else to change it for you, or you think that if you play the woe is me card enough, that's not going to work for you. You have to own your life. Does that mean that like really bad, crappy things sometimes happen to us and that we really don't have any control over it? Yes, it does. But we always have control over the reaction that we have to that. And so, you know what? I love what Jack Canfield says. He says, until you realize that you are 100% responsible for your life. You can't blame your past. You can't blame what's happened to you, what's been done to you. You are the captain of your ship. You get to decide where it goes. And so you have to own that, including all the ugliness that comes with that. But you know, we're all walking around with this kind of energetic imprint that we hold that comes from our thoughts and our beliefs about ourselves. And so we're constantly projecting that out. And the law of attraction says you're inviting people and circumstances and events into your life. You are doing that through your thoughts and your actions. And so, you know, you start to become really aware of that and realize that this is a universal law. You know, we see this when we wake up in the morning and, you know, like you take your first step out of bed and something bad happens, and the next thing you know, something else bad happens, and the next thing you know, something else bad happens. It's because you're creating that, because your negative thoughts over that one bad thing that happened created another negative thought, which created another negative thought. And so all this stuff keeps like coming back at you. And so the law of attraction is a universal law that once you know and understand that you are a co-creator in that process, your life begins to shift. And so, you know, one of the things that I was looking as I was reviewing my 2016 year, and I made all these goals, and you can kind of see in the background that chalkboard, those were my financial goals. And so I charted those goals every single month. And then I said, you know, okay, here were my profits, and here were my losses, and here's what I did well, and here's what I didn't do so well, and here's what I want to do differently, you know, next time. I have my vision board, which is a set of goals that I am looking at and striving for each day. As I look back at 2016, I see that thankfully I had these goals. I have SMART goals over here. You know, I'm looking at my SMART goals, and my SMART goals say Strobel Education will become my full-time career. It will serve and inspire and impact thousands of people. You know, I will develop 12 to 16 regionals across the states of Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. I did all of that before I even launched my business on January 1st. I have these SMART goals, which were, here were my big things that I wanted to hit. And then I love what Susan Hyatt said. I was watching her webinar yesterday. And then here are the little turtle steps that I'm taking to get to those really big goals. And so as we look into 2017, I think that it's important for you to reflect on, what did you accomplish? I mean, when I'm looking back, I think, okay, so I did my 12 to 16 regionals. I did coach a lot of schools. I created 2 ebooks that I'm getting ready to publish and sell. I created 4 opt-ins. I just found out last week that I'm on the national circuit. I got invited to Las Vegas to speak at the Innovative Teachers Conference. I got invited to Atlanta, Georgia to speak at their learning summit. And so I just keep putting myself out there. I just keep sending in these proposals and saying, hey, the worst thing that can happen is they don't accept my proposal. And what I'm finding out is they are accepting my proposals. And so, you know, I think you have to have really gaudy goals, even if you're not even sure if you can reach them. If you don't reach that gaudy goal, you're still going to fall higher than had you not had the gaudy goal at all. And so as I look through my 2016 year and I see, like, you know, what was one of my proudest moments? Well, one of my proudest moments of 2016 was the fact that I got to connect with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of teachers who like still have this light in them, who still fully 100% want to show up and serve students every single day. I got to connect and be part of their energy and part of their service. Another great thing that has happened to me in the last year is I am surrounded by people in my business who are doing this exact same thing that I am. But we formed like this little mastermind group, and mastermind groups are an excellent way to kind of, send your game to the next level. And so in the past year, I've come into contact with like 3 people who are now, I think, considered part of my mastermind group. And one of them is Hal Bowman, who is the Teach Like a Rockstar champion and travels all across the U.S. Jim Halleck is a former administrator for 40 years and has his own consulting business. And then Matt Miller, who I just recently connected with, is the author of the book Ditch That Textbook. And he's actually from Indiana. And so the 3 of us, they're like my little mastermind group. I talk to them periodically. They help me with marketing strategies. I help them with marketing strategies. We bounce ideas back and forth. We talk about maybe creating some events together where we could work together on projects. And you know what the greatest thing about these 3 people is that they are not in competition with me. Like there's a business out there that I know of that is like fiercely competing with me. I don't want any of that energy. I do not want to compete with anyone. Whoever needs to come to Strobel Education Workshops will come to Strobel Education Workshops, and whoever needs to go to these other workshops will go there. There is plenty of work for all of us. There's abundance on all of us. And so these 3 people who are in the same field with me, that are helping me and that I help them, it's wonderful because we're like rooting for each other. We're bouncing ideas off. We're upping one another's game. And it is so nice to be in business with people like that who are actually rooting for you as well and who don't feel this need to like compete and be better than you. I'm just going to tell you, that's just a really good energy to be around. And so I'm really thankful for that little group. That's something I think the law of attraction, the universe has done for me, is I put out there that, look, I want to do this consulting thing in a really big way. Do I hope to be standing in front of 20,000 people someday? Absolutely. And when you kind of send that signal out to the universe, it will respond. When you put those goals out there, you can't just put those goals out there like mentally. You can't just be like, you got to write them down, because there's power when you write them down. You got to look at them. Like I'm looking at my vision board right now that I see every single day when I walk in my office. I see my SMART goals. I see my financial goals over here on this black backboard. I'm looking and progress monitoring. How am I doing towards the accountability of those? But I'm also remembering every single time that I'm in charge of creating this life around me. Now I do believe I co-create this life with God, and that there's this universal intelligence that's working way harder than I am even at this. But I think the bottom line is, as you look at 2017 and you decide, what do you want to do? Do you want, what's your word of the year? Write that down. I'm not going to talk you through vision boards today, but vision boards have been huge in my life. I've got a stack of 15 of them in my closet that I could pull out and show you all the things that have come true on my vision boards. But the bottom line is this: whatever it is that you do want, then you need to be willing to work at it. You have to work and work hard. You're going to have to be gritty and resilient, and you're going to have to take action. You can't just have these goals and then say, well, I have these goals, but I'm just going to sit back and see like, how do they come into my life? No, you got to be part of that. You got to take action. It's just like with my business. I want my business to be wildly successful for lots of reasons. But guess what? That means I'm going to have to work my ass off, and I'm willing to do it. And so what is it that you want? Like, I guess going back to the whole abs thing, when my husband said like, well, what are you going to do different? He's exactly right. What are you going to do, Kim, different if you really want those abs? So, I could sit there and tease him like, oh, I'm going to get these, abs. I'm going to get it all ready for our Punta Cana trip. Like, you're going to look at me and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe her stomach looks like that. But in all reality, if I'm not going to start doing like some planks or some sit-ups and changing my eating habits, then it's probably not going to happen. So as you go through and you look at 2017 goals and you write those down and you check on those, whether it be monthly or weekly or quarterly, you need to decide, are you doing the work behind the scenes to ensure that you reach those goals? Or are you just expecting them to come into your life? Because that's not going to happen. And I think I am going to have like a vision board party, because I believe in the power of vision boards. I believe in the power of our thoughts, and I believe that our thoughts do create our beliefs, and that when we send those beliefs out to the universe, it's constantly sending that back to us. And so like, you know, I believe that there's something to be said for having positive affirmations and surrounding yourself with people who elevate your life. You know, I'm looking over here at my vision board ebook that I wrote, and I have to tell you a funny story before I leave, because Oscar's picture's looking at me here. So Oscar's part of my vision board booklet. Oscar's my dog, by the way. And Oscar, he was found in the McDonald's trash bin as a puppy, scrounging for food. And so we have an automatic dog feeder, and Oscar's had like a love affair with the dog feeder forever. So he's fat. And so my husband would always call Oscar Piggy. Like, he thought it was a cute, funny name. Like, come here, Piggy, let's get you in the truck. Or, hey, Piggy, come on, let's go for a walk. Or, come here, Piggy, let me pick you up. And so about a year ago, I'm like, look, I was like, our words have power. They really do. And so like, I don't want you to call him Piggy anymore, because you're just setting him up to be fat when you call him Piggy. And my husband is used to me and my woo-wee stuff. And actually, he was saying the other day, he's like, you know, when you started doing vision boards and like this law of attraction stuff, you know, years ago, he's like, I have to admit, I thought it was kind of weird. He goes, I 100% believe it now, because I've seen all of this stuff that you've been able to acquire in our lives, and I've seen that it works. But anyway, going back to Oscar. So Oscar's chubby and overweight. And so when my husband, about a year ago, I was like, look, I don't want you to call him Piggy anymore, because that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And not only that, but every day when we walk Oscar, we're going to try the power of words, and we're going to see if it doesn't change his body. And so Scott's like, all right, I've seen this work in your life, and I'm not sure it's going to work with our dog. And so every day, and my kids can attest to this because they've heard this story, every day when I walk Oscar, I would say this: wow, Oscar, you are so fit. Look at all the energy you bring on this walk. Or, wow, Oscar, I can tell you are getting fit and trim. I think I almost see your ribs. Now listen, was Oscar still 30 pounds overweight while I was saying this to him? Yes, he was. But that's the power of manifesting, is you can trick your subconscious mind. It's not that, you know, Oscar is slim and trim as I'm saying these things to him, but I'm tricking his subconscious mind. And so I kid you not, and Karen Graybill, she knows this because she edited my vision board book. And so this little Oscar story is in there. But I seriously would praise Oscar every day. You know, when we would walk, I would tell him positive affirmations. I'd be like, you are such a handsome boy. You are so fit and trim. Look how healthy you are. You're able to walk around this entire neighborhood. And so I kid you not, like 6 months later, I was walking him. Scott and I were walking him. And I go, Scott, I want you to look at Oscar. And he's like, what? And I go, look at the side of Oscar. Oscar's ribs were sticking out for the first time in his life. I kid you not. It worked with my dog, Oscar. And there's a picture of him. I don't know if you can see it here on my little vision board book, but like that's Oscar before. Look, do you see those ribs? I mean, yeah, he is looking for a treat on the floor. But honestly, our positive words and affirmations affected our dog, Oscar. And so he literally, when I took him to the vet, he had lost 15 pounds. And so, you know, I called my good friend Vicky after this happened. And I'm like, you know what, Vicky? I go, from now on, when you call me, I want you to be like this. What's up, Slim Kim? I want you to start calling me Slim Kim. We're going to see if it changes me. But no, in all reality, I know this sounds silly and this sounds like a weird test, but it totally worked with my dog. Now, I will tell you the truth. I've not been doing that for like the last 6 months, and he's kind of porked out again. So I'm going to try the whole positive affirmation. Maybe it's just his fur in the wintertime, but anyway, I probably need to start working on his affirmations with him again. But seriously, my dog lost weight because we didn't call him Piggy anymore. And I kept telling him how fit and trim he was. And so that's just kind of a funny story, but actually there's a lot of truth to it. So anyway, I am thinking that, I tell you what, if anybody wants this vision board ebook, feel free to put your email in the comments or message me and I'll send it to you for free. I walk you through the entire steps of how to create a vision board, but I actually think I'm going to have like a vision board party at my house in the next 2 weeks so that we can all create our 2017 vision boards. And if you're interested, we need to be collecting magazines, and we'll get some poster board and we'll do some wine or maybe some tea. I'm really into tea lately. I ordered this Teavana tea set. I can't wait to get it. And so we'll just kind of have like a fun vision board party and we'll create our 2017 goals. And then I'll talk you through the process about how it really is more than just slapping a picture on a poster board. But I will kind of talk you through that process. So anyway, that's your Facebook Live video. I'm going to try to do more of these. I've kind of taken a break from them lately. But I really love them and I love talking, so this is perfect for me. But I wish you much luck as you move forward in 2017. Remember, you are 100% responsible for your life. And 2, your thoughts create your beliefs, and your beliefs create your actions, and your actions create your reality. So life, hi Chad, oh my gosh. I am so lucky to have this Chad Buckman friend from high school in my life. He is like one of my biggest supporters. He's why I'm going to Las Vegas and Atlanta, Georgia, because he's the one that sent me the email that was like, hey, Strobel, this is something I attended, last year and it was really good. You should submit a proposal. And so I took action on it, submitted a proposal, and 3 days later, I got something back that said, I've been chosen. And so like that's how this universe works. Like they send me little angels like Chad Buckman into my life who put these little opportunities in front of me. And so yes, I will be sending you the vision board booklet. Oh, Chris, you are so kind. This is my first year as an instructional coach and I hope I can be as inspirational as you, Kim. That is so kind. You know, that's been one of my favorite things about doing these workshops is I do think people can feel the energy that I bring and that I'm very honest about my intentions during my workshop. But like, I really love whenever like a workshop will be over and I'll have like 2 or 3 random teachers come in like after the workshop and they'll just say things to me like, you know what? I felt really down about teaching lately and I can't wait to step back into my classroom again. And you've done that for me. Or, you know what, this was much more than just a training on closed reading. Like I walked away with some tips on how to kind of amplify my personal life. And so, whatever it is that you do, yes, we all want to make money. I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I wanted to make millions of dollars. But when I wake up in the morning, my number one goal is to be of service. You got to be of service first. You got to decide, these are my attributes, these are my gifts, and this is how I want to serve. And when that is your number one goal, then everything else falls into place. So, I can see that I've been missing like a ton of comments here or I haven't really been, I see everybody that's joined, that's so kind. So yes, I will send those vision boards. You can message me your email or you can put it in the comments and I'll send you Kim Strobel's guide to creating vision boards and why they work. And then I think I'm going to host a little party at my house and we're going to create some vision boards for 2017. So I wish you all the best of luck and I'm out of here. See ya.